The Weeknd, Playboy Carti, and Doechii. Let's talk about it.
This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It, Music Reviews Season 11. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a good episode for you today. I can't believe I'm talking about The Weeknd with a Doechii feature. I mean, holy shit, are we in the new times? I guess we are, because Lord goddamn mighty. Guys, you know, I honestly, when I heard the announcement of this song, when I saw it on the list, I said, you know, when I saw it on Twitter, I said, you know, I don't think this is actually real. I don't think this is going to come out. And then it actually came out. So today we got The Weeknd, Playboy Carti, Doechii, Timeless. This is a remix. Now look, I've already talked about the original. You already know my thoughts. But the original I talked about, guys, I talked about that shit 2024. So a whole year ago. So, I mean, we can do a refresh. We can do a little bit of a refresh. Starting off with Doechii, because Doechii is right in the beginning, so we're already going to be talking about Doechii. Now, look, guys, you know, Doechii is a very hit-or-miss artist for me. You know, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. Sometimes I'm like, all right, this is not for me. Like, you know, tracks like Anxiety, I could really care less about that track. And then there's like a Doechii feature with like West Side Gun that makes me go, wow, what the fuck am I listening to? So Doechii is a very hit-or-miss artist for me, but I did like Denial's a River until the ending of that song came up. Then I wasn't really messing with it. But guys, let's focus now and start off talking about Doechii. Did Doechii do really good on this beat? Surprisingly, I will say Doechii flowed really good on this beat. I didn't know how she was going to sound on this Timeless production, you know, with those synths, with this, you know, raging beat, with those, like, lustrous synths that really rise up with this beat. So I didn't know Doechii was going to sound, I didn't know how she's going to sound on here. Now, I am liking the beginning of the flow, and I'm also liking how Doechii has all these different flow switches. These different flow switches come in, and they just add so much goddamn value when you listen to the song. So overall, I think that's a pretty good thing. Flow switches are always going to...
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue. Subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Be one of those things that makes this song where you just want to go back to it and listen to the song over and over and over again. Now, this is where we get some issues with, in my opinion, with Doechii's verse. Doechii is doing a lot of different vocal switch-ups. And, you know, these vocal switch-ups and these flow switch-ups, you know, they can combine together. They can create a really good listening experience. But I would say if you're going to switch your vocals, why are we doing vocal switch-ups that's peaking the audio? Now, look, you know, sometimes I could care less about, you know, artists really peaking the mic. But for Doechii, you know, I think, you know, she has such a good rap voice. She has such a good beginning flow. And she can do all these little flow pockets that, I'll say this, you know, not a lot of rappers these days are really doing. So, you know, I look at these flow pockets. I look at this skill that's obviously there. But then we get into the listening experience, and that's when this track really goes downhill. First of all, I really hate this high-pitched vocal switch up. You know, this isn't a Playboy Carti feature, you know. This isn't doing it nicely. This is actually, you know, making the listening experience go down. I'll be real, guys. I was really enjoying the verse until we get to the middle of it, and then that vocal switch up comes, and then she does this flow, which a lot of rappers do for some reason. It's like they like to rap one part, and then they like to end their verse off with a higher pitched vocal tone. And I'll just be real, that is not for me. And
this episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Most artists, most fucking rappers, every time they do this, I always criticize it, guys, because I don't like it. You know, it doesn't sound good. It's just peaking the microphone. It's just making the listening experience not that enjoyable. And when you're like me, who has, you know, the volume turned up all the way up with their headphones while they're listening to the song, well, guess what? You know, when we get those moments where we're peaking the audio, where we're peaking the vocals over the beat to such a certain extent where it doesn't make the track enjoyable, I don't like that. So the only thing I'm going to say about this Doechii verse is the beginning was really nice, and I would say the middle was really nice, and then I would say when the vocal switch-ups start happening, that's when the Doechii verse really goes downhill from there. But one of the things that I really do enjoy about this track also is that, you know, I like how the Weeknd and Doechii kind of, you know, did the remix, I think more than what artists do on remixes, you know. I like it when the timeless hook comes on and Doechii adds some background vocals, adds some more, you know, some good vocals in the background. Now, is it necessary? Is it adding too much to the track? Is it making it an enjoyable experience? You know, it's not, you know, groundbreaking. It's not making me go like, holy shit, this is fucking fire. It's not making me do all that. But I will say, I do like the inclusion of adding some vocals in the background.
This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
Out here, there's no one way of doing things. No unwritten rules, and no shortage of adventure. Because out here, the only requirement is having fun. Bank of America invites kids 6 to 18 to golf with us. For a limited time, sign them up for a free 1-year membership, giving them access to discounted tee times at thousands of courses. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/golf with us. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Restrictions apply. See BofA.com/golf with us for complete details. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
Just kind of helping the artist out and adding a little bit more to the remix. It makes remixes feel a little bit more of an impact when you listen to them. When you listen to a remix that, you know, might just have, you know, a 30-second verse from an artist and then that's the remix, it's not going to be the most enjoyable experience. So adding the point of, you know, Doechii adding some background vocals, hey, I'm going to say this, it adds to the goddamn track. So that's a good thing. And I guess we could just talk about now I would say the better part of the song is Playboy Carti comes in. And, you know, I remember when I talked about Timeless, I don't even think I went in that detail about Playboy Carti's verse. I'll just be real. I think I was mostly talking about the Weeknd because the Weeknd's verse and his hook really had me going. But I think on this remix, Playboy Carti does get to shine a little bit more with his verse. And I would say he shined pretty well with his verse. You know, Playboy Carti always coming in with that nice flow. You know, you can't, so many other artists can't flow like Playboy Carti. And if you can do flow switches, vocal switches, and make it added to the song, make it a part of the song, make it something that's a little bit different.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
If you can do that, you're going to have a verse that hits every time. And then The Weeknd, he did his thing on here. I like his vocals. You know, I do understand why The Weeknd's verse is not on here, because this song probably would be like 5 minutes long. So, overall, guys, when we talk about this timeless remix featuring Doechii, I would say overall it's not hitting anything of the original. This is just a fun remix, especially if you're a fan of Doechii. You're going to love this verse. I think, you know, all of the rap elements that Doechii can really flow on a beat is on this one verse alone from this timeless remix. So if you enjoy that sound, if you enjoy Doechii going absolutely insane off this beat, you're going to have a pretty fun time. Overall, guys, I'm going to give this track like a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, guys. What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. Guys, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. Hey, we're back. We got a lot of content coming out this weekend and week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.